So, y'all, you've heard us mention in a previous episode that video game publisher Square Enix gave me early access to the upcoming title Life is Strange Double Exposure. And they have sponsored this special Wine and Crime feed drop review. And I am super pumped about it because I got to play it. I got to play the advanced little sneak peek. It was so awesome. First, I'm going to give you a little bit of context for the game. So here's like the meat and potatoes. Trying to overcome a traumatic past, the lead lady, Max Caulfield, works as a photographer artist in residence at the prestigious Caledon University. Max's life is again struck by tragedy.
Love tragedy.
Yeah, right? She finds her close friend Safi murdered in the snow. So this is like already up our alley, people. So it's now up to Max to use her supernatural power to shift between two parallel timelines. So there's like the current timeline after she has found Safi deceased. And then she can shift to a timeline where Safi is still alive, but in danger. And she uses these multiple timelines to solve the mystery of like, what the heck, who the heck, why the heck Safi was murdered.
So this is like, what's that Netflix show that you like? The really sci-fi, like mind-bendy.
Oh, kind of like Three Body Problem.
Yes.
It's a way less complicated situation, but sure. Yeah, I could totally see that.
Different timelines. We're saving people.
It's definitely got this like supernatural, almost sci-fi element to it that is super cool, and I'm very into it. So you help Max solve and prevent the murder of her friend kind of like at the same time by exploring several locations in and around Caledon University, which can help her uncover evidence and information around this murder mystery. So basically what this game is, and Lucy, this is why I am going to get you on board with becoming a little gamer for the first time ever in your life, because it's a Goosebumps like choose your own adventure game. It's like a creepy murder mystery sci-fi choose your own adventure in a way. So the little sneak peek, I only got access to the first 2 chapters. It starts, you're playing as the main character, Max, and her friend Safi has just died under mysterious circumstances that are being investigated. And she gets a concerning text from her friend Moses, who tells her that he has a piece of stolen evidence. He got like his hands on evidence that he's withholding from the police.
Steal the evidence.
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but the evidence, this I don't think is a spoiler, but the evidence is a camera, and it was Safi's camera, and it has photos from the days leading up to her death. And because they're all friends, Moses is in some of those photos, and he is concerned that this evidence will make the police kind of automatically place him as a suspect.
Oh, like he was with them, so he's kind of implicated. Like he was the last to see them alive, maybe.
But he didn't do it. But now he's like, I don't want the cops to be looking at me. And also, you know, we can do better at figuring this out. So you, in this first sequence, you like go to meet Moses. He's like, come here. I got to tell you what's going on. And then while they're talking, an investigator comes to interview them. And the stolen evidence, the camera is like in the room with them. But Max doesn't know where it is yet because they haven't gotten to that point in the conversation with Moses when they're interrupted by this investigator. And she wants to get it before this cop gets it, but can't just turn and ask him, where is it? Because the cop is right in the room. So it like triggers this puzzle solving sequence where Max has to figure out where this evidence is and get to it before the cops use it against Moses and set him up as a suspect. So you're plunged into an opportunity to use that timeline shifting power and start investigating, because you could hop to another timeline where the cop isn't there and try to figure out,
you can dig around in clues.
Yeah. And find the camera. The graphics, immediately that struck me. They are so good. It really puts you into the story right away. And the gameplay is simple, but it's not like, I play a lot of games that vary in complexity, and sometimes really, really, really simple games can feel kind of monotonous, but this does not feel like that. Like, it's a simple game, but they still keep the suspense and the intrigue and the mystery really high, which I love. And you have this cool power, and you get to use the timeline shifting power in the preview. So I loved it. I'm super curious, like, if there are other skill sets of hers that might develop as the game goes on, or other versions of this power that you get to use. I don't know. I'm going to have to keep playing to find out.
So, as a non-gamer who is just entrenched in true crime all the time, like, there is not a true crime documentary out there that I have not seen. But like, sometimes the trueness gets to me a little bit. And so this would still have the same like elements, like
it's
spying
cozy.
and evidence and a murder, but then like it's not real. So you don't have to get emotional about it.
Playing it, it's a very narrative focused and like character focused game and story focused game. So you really feel like you're in a mystery drama. Like, you're the lead role in a mystery show.
I like that. I think I could get really into that. Like, if you're in your living room and all the lights are off and it's nighttime, and it's like a huge TV just playing this game. That sounds really pleasant.
It's awesome. And at this point in the game, when you're like in this alternative timeline trying to find the camera, there's a segment where you have to be stealthy to evade detection. And I like truly wish I had recorded it, because I'm so bad at stealth. And I feel like I always panic and run around. So I just like really had to calm myself down, not freak out, stay undetected. So like I was saying, with this game, even without the combat.
You're like Kronk in Emperor's New Groove.
Yes. That I panic every time there's a stealth sequence. It's very, very entertaining. So this game doesn't have like, it's not like a first-person shooter. It doesn't have combat the way that we see it in a lot of other popular games, but it has creative ways that build suspense and test your skills as like, I'm a little bit of a gamer, even though I'm not so great at it, but I was really, really enjoying the gameplay. And, for you, Lucy, and the Lucys of the world, if you're into investigations and unfolding crime stories, which we have to imagine you are since you listen to this podcast, this game puts you right in the center of your own mystery. And like I said, while I've only had access to the preview, what I do know about this game is that the choices you make, so this is like where the choose your own adventure part comes in.
That's what I'm into.
Yeah. So the choices you make and the things you uncover change your outcomes further along in the game. So like, that's how it would be in real life. So for instance, after you discover the evidence in this opening chapter and you nick it before the cops get to it in this opening sequence, what investigator like notices something's off and confronts you about it? And you have to choose whether you're afraid enough of the cops' threats to snitch on Moses or cover for him. I'll give you one guess what my choice was.
C, cry.
That was not an option this time.
Unrealistic.
Obviously, I didn't tattle on Moses. I was like,
ACAB.
I don't know. I don't know a thing. I'm not telling you anything. But the choices you can make range from being as overt as that, like a cop approaching you and you choose whether to comply or lie.
Snitch.
And any of these choices, from the overt ones to the subtle ones, like from what I've played so far, it's like, oh, they're thinking ahead on some of these cool details. And I love that. So from what I could see in the early access to the first 2 chapters, you spend most of the game playing as Max and exploring the campus environment where the story takes place. The music is beautiful and very chill. Again, it's like a super well-made, beautiful, cozy mystery game. The images are gorgeous and immersive, and the game is built to be played really however you want to. I'm an impatient gamer, so I like to plow through objective-based main storylines and main timelines in my gameplay, which is definitely doable in this game. Like, you could just follow the main storyline and try to solve it as quickly as humanly possible. But for those of you who are more adventurers and really want to take your time, there are so many cool details and big, gorgeous, like, world building that you can take your time and explore. And then you can explore the same areas on different timelines to get like a different version.
And you could just start over and make different choices and have a whole different game.
replay would be so easy. This game is so story-based. It's clear that the creators took a lot of time and care in the animation too. So you get really beautiful, subtle emotion on the facial animation that makes you feel like you're really in the moment talking to somebody. It's really, really cool. I'm excited to use more of the timeline shifting power, which again, it's a key part to solving puzzles and gathering intel. Like if you're in the current timeline and want to investigate, say, a certain room, but the door is locked, you might have success if there's like a timeline shifting checkpoint with a timeline shift to a time when the door was open and go in and look around in the room and then jump back to the current timeline with the intel that you've gleaned.
Games have come so far since like claymation PC computer games.
I mean, they really have. This is like an incredibly detailed and beautiful game. And the timeline power is really cool because it's strategic. You can only use it in specific like shift points, timeline shift points. Other details that the creators obviously took into great consideration are their accessibility options. I thought this was really cool. This is, it's a murder mystery, so it has dark content in it. And you as the player can customize settings to give you maybe warnings for certain potential triggers so that the game is as enjoyable for you as possible. Other accessibility options in there that struck me as an ADHD girly, I adjusted some of the sound and light settings because my sensitivities are primarily in the sensory category. So like bright flashing light or like really sudden super loud sound. I could mess with some of those settings to just really customize it to make it a really cozy and comfortable and easy game for me to play. But there are also settings for actual content in the game and the story as well so that you can, just make sure you're like self-caring as you play this awesome game.
Oh, they've thought of everything.
They really have. And as we know, but other people might not know, this is the second game in a Life is Strange series. The game does give nods and references to the first Life is Strange game, but I never played the first game and I didn't have any like issues with my ability to dive into this and follow the storyline completely. It definitely made me curious to play the first one. I think there are some little callbacks and like little Easter eggs that would be fun for me to have the context of, but it's super accessible to new players who might not have played the original Life is Strange. It provides newcomers with everything you need to enjoy the game and become emotionally invested in its characters, the twists, the turns. This is also a game that while, in the gameplay, it's not multiplayer. I'm somebody who likes to play games with a group of people and like hand off the controller. And this is a game that I cannot wait to play with friends because I think it would be super fun to like duke it out amongst each other over the decisions we make.
You and Robbie and Aaron would.
Yes. Right?
That'd be so fun.
And, other people might see something in the investigation that you, the player, aren't focusing on. So this could be a super fun game to play together with your friends. I want to have friends over for a game night immediately when the full version is released.
That sounds so cozy on like a chilly night. Have your friends over, have some pizza, play this game communally.
So, my overall response is that I love it. I can't wait to play more. It's cozy and compelling. It's for any level of gamer. Like I said, I am not a combat gamer. Like I'll do it, but I will be terrible at it and I won't enjoy it. But this game has all of my favorite parts of a game. Puzzles, mystery, exploration, relationship building, interesting details and objectives. Like I truly can't wait for y'all to check it out. So Life is Strange Double Exposure launches October 29th on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and coming soon to Nintendo Switch. Early access to the first 2 chapters starting on October 15th for those who pre-ordered the Ultimate Edition. This game is rated M for mature.